that's what makes the difference and why then we had 2 schools that ended up taking a decrease because you're capping 50% of the budget.
So here's the fund balance slide. So to begin the year, we had 3.3 million. I'm estimating 150,000 just based on the fact that last year was 120,000, and we had some we had normal expenses this year, but we did have some things that we didn't plan on buying, like some new furniture was needed, etc. That's just an estimate. Don't really know where that's going to land. So taking that into account, we think our ending fund balance would be 3.2 million. We're budgeting 905,000 in next year's proposed budget. We have the refunds to the 2 schools, and we will ask to transfer $1 million of that fund balance to our capital reserve, because we're down to about $250,000 in capital money. That's all we have. So we need to fund that. We have projects on the books. And therefore, if all that comes to pass, then our ending fund balance would be 1.1 million, which would be about 11% of our proposed budget.
And what we're left with in our fund balance, I remember we were talking about that at the other meeting, and that is within the healthy range that is recommended for the high school for our budget amount, for our budgets.
It is. 12% is the high end for the requirements, and we don't fall under those, but so apply those. Yeah.
Good, and then the operating budget, we have all of our 100 up to 900 sections, and it just shows you salary and wages, of course, is the highest, over 5.1% increase. Potential closing of 2 programs due to low enrollment, eliminate maintenance worker, maintenance secretary. We're going to be adding an HVAC instructor, bioscience instructor, counselor, special education instructor, and IT technician. We've been down an IT technician for 1.5 years now, and poor Dennis is running around, the chicken with his head cut off. I mean, it's pretty bad. We need special ed, personnel in there. Our IEP population has gone up slightly. We're up about 36%. My thinking is that I would, have 3 special ed instructors, and I would have 1 designated for each one of the schools. So there's a go-to person from this district to the current or to our career tech center. I think the line of communications will open up greatly if I can do it that way, and then they will be concentrating on specific students, and then when they come back to us, or specific issues that may be happening at the sending district, that student will come and seek out our special ed instructor. And of course, we're in the middle of negotiations with PSEA and ESPA, which is, a really hard thing to go through right now. So we're trying to accomplish, 2 big contracts, well, 1 big one and 1 decent sized one at the same time. So we're hoping that the JLC, takes in consideration of if we're going to do a 5-year, make sure you do 1 less or 1 more, so we don't have to do it again in a couple of years at the same time. Because scheduling is a nightmare. Benefits overall, 10.39% increase. The medical has increased based on Health Trust Fund look, premium equivalent rate increase of 9.2%. Anticipated change in medical plan enrollment retirement is 7.9%. And PCERS rate, rose up to 33.43%, an increase of 2.5 addition to the payroll. Programs overall 0.87% increase, which is it's pretty good. We're my goal is to make sure that all of our programs, all 21 programs, are up to or above industry standard. It's PE requirements, and we still have a little ways to go in some of my programs. But we just had a 339 evaluation. The state came in at the beginning of the year. Evaluated every one of our programs, evaluated our budget, evaluated everything dealing with our school, and we walked away unscathed. No So that was, you know, so now we're good for 5 years. We're not gonna rest on our laurels, we're gonna up that ante a little bit more. The supply budget and existing programs have been kept very close. This year, Gail and I sat down with all of our instructors, first time in years.
Probably about 4.
First time in years that, you know, we sat down and I had them explain to me why they need that amount of money, and, you know, then we made decisions on what is actual needed and what is their, you know, on their wish list. And a lot of that stuff, we're gonna, you know, go out and we're gonna apply for grants, Perkins grants, matching grants. And I have a lot of instructors that are going out and we're getting a lot of donations from business and industry, which is really helpful. So my mechatronics program, 2 years in, he's out there soliciting new equipment all the time, and people are just throwing things at him, and his kids are building unbelievable stuff in there. So we're gonna continue doing that, and we're gonna try to bring in some business and industry to use our facility. And if they use our facility, they'll outfit our facility with brand new equipment. So, program equipment, 9.35% lower in 20, a difference of 18,000. This does not include new equipment for HVAC or biosciences, which is part of the one-time $650,000 allotment. And possible equipment costs will be covered by grants. Support services overall, a 16.39% decrease. Cuts made of various line items in the effort to keep costs down. Largest decrease in technology and maintenance budgets. Budgetary reserve is $200,000 provided for unknown possible emergency substantial cuts. Have been made to some expense budgets, and this this reserve will be needed in the event that cost cutting went too deep. Hopefully not deeper than 200,000. And to maximize your investments, student performance on the Perkins academic and algebra and literature indicators have been above the state expectations for all but 1 year over the past 5 years, which is phenomenal. With the homeschools you guys are doing with your students and then coming to us, and we have academics embedded into our programs on a daily basis. They're doing math every single day, they're reading every single day, they're writing every single day. It's not just walking in, picking up a wrench, you know, and a hammer. They all have to learn how to use that equipment. Upper Bucks has implemented a technical entrepreneurship program in partnership with Bucks County Community College, where our students and your students may earn 20 credits for scoring advanced on NACI or NIMS. The NACI test is a test that the seniors will take at the end of their career with us. It's a written test, usually about 200 questions, and it's a practical test, usually of about 5 to 6 different projects that they have to do. Our instructors cannot be in the room. We bring in outside business and industry people. They come in, they have a rubric, they score them, we seal them up, we can't touch them, we send them out to get graded, and they come back. If they score competent on the written and advanced on the hands-on, they're not advanced. They have to be advanced in both, advanced and advanced. So to receive a lot of the SOAR credits and a lot of those credits, you have to have advanced on both. We are at about 68% advanced right now. The state recognizes 75%. So my goal for advanced only is to get to 75 next year. But our competent and advanced, we're at 89%, and the state's at about 82%. So we're pretty much above state average. We're going to increase work-based learning experiences through cooperation education. So I'd like to roll out a plan next year at one point where every one of our students are going to have a co-op experience. They come in as sophomores or freshmen. I'd like them to go out for a job shadow at least one day within the first 15 days of school. It's going to be a large task to accomplish, but we did it with 12 sending districts. I think I could do it with 3. But I want every one of my ninth graders, every one of my first level students coming into any one of my programs, I want them to go out and do a job shadow. You know, so if they're gonna work, if they wanna go and they're gonna be taking machine shop, and they wanna, you know, they wanna be a machinist, well, I want them to go to one of our local machinists, or machine shop, you know, organizers, job shadow for a day. If they come back and say, I don't like it, you know, then I can take that student and place him or her somewhere in another program, send them out for a job shadow to try to figure out where they want to be. You know, then after next year, they'll do a, so they'll do the job shadow first, and then they'll do the co-op will be their senior year, where they'll come in, and as they're progressing in their task lists, so for instance, auto mechanics has 238 tasks that need to be completed in a 4-year period. Some of those tasks, there's 2 or 3 combined in one. Others you might take 2 days to complete, depending on the size of the task, depending on the student. So when you are eligible to go on co-op, I want every one of my kids to have a co-op experience as a senior. So according to PDE, they have to at least meet or be above 80% of their task completion. So then we take that task list, my co-op coordinator takes the task list to our local auto dealership. They look at it and they say, yep, we can accomplish these, you know, other 20% of the tasks in a, you know, a 5-week time frame. So the kids are getting paid, right? They're having a hands-on experience, and they're having their tasks completed. So when they come back, the task is completed. They maintain an 80 average, they complete the task 100%, and they score advanced on NOCTI, and they're going to be eligible for at least 20 credits. Or more, depends on the articulation for each one of our programs. Increased work-based learning experience through cooperative education. Just try to, you know, we're explaining that we're at 34.8% of NOCTI eligible students graduating have had a work-based learning. I want to bring that number up significantly. And then 87.7% of Upper Buck students graduated with at least one PDE recognized industry certification. So PDE recognizes certifications that pertain to each one of the programs. Some programs are offering 2 or 3, PD recognizes 5 or 6. Well, my instructors are going to be instructed that I want to offer 5 or 6, not just 2 or 3. And that is where that, I spoke earlier, where the meat of those certifications are going to come in, and our students are going to have an upper hand when they're out, you know, applying for jobs. And that's going to be driven by our Occupational Advisory Committee, and those are business industry that will come in, and they'll explain to, and they'll look at the certifications, and they'll give me, you know, the highest priority to the lowest priority. So we make sure that we're not just giving them 2, you know, OSHA certifications, we're going to give them all 6. Student performance on NOCTI and NIMS, 86%, 95% over the past 5 years. Investing in programs at work, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, refrigeration, as well as bioscience technology. This year, the 2019 Farm Show, we had a grand champion for the first time in 40 years. Dual enrollment with Bucks County Community College. We're going to continue with that. We secured $63,000 for STEM and CT initiatives for food truck, summer camp, and internships, which is pretty awesome. And this, you know, one other added accolade, you know, our students for the first Bucks County, Penridge, Palisades, and Quakertown, we had 48 District Skills USA place medal finishers. We had 20 first place finishers, and we had 6 buys going into the state. So we're sending 26 kids to Hershey in April 10, 11, and 12 to compete against everyone in the state. We had 57% out of the 4 districts or 5 districts that competed. We brought in 57% of the medals. Small Upper Bucks versus LCTI, and boy did I rub it in their faces. So we had we beat LCTI, we beat Bethlehem, we beat everybody else that was there, and, you know, we had a ceremony the other day. It took us, instead of 2 days to do it because of all the snow days, it seems like every Wednesday there was a cancellation. We had to cancel a competition. So we had the presentation at the school, and the kids loved it. And then our board, we're gonna recognize all 48 of them at our board meeting next Thursday. So, you know, that's another, but I think Quakertown edged Penridge in the medal count there.
Oh, you didn't need to bring that up.
You were doing good till then.
Now, we got goals for next year.
Are there any
There you go.
questions, are there any questions
But thank you.
regarding
If you have any
the budget
questions.
presentation or any information from the tech school?
I have a
Sorry, I
question
went over
about the
that.
$650,000. What else is included in that other than equipment? You said part of it was equipment,
For the programs,
the $650,000 for the two new programs that you're taking from capital projects.
well, we have to, part of that is gonna go towards the building that wasn't touched during the renovation. We're gonna convert our current landscaping program into a binding science program. And the building has not been touched. The only thing that was put on there was a roof, so we have to do a little bit of remodeling. We have to add a lab. We have to add a clean lab. We've partnered up with Lampire. He's gonna come in and guide us on what equipment is and what isn't. So we're not gonna waste our money, and he's gonna probably do a lot of donations as well.
This is a class 10 clean lab, do you know?
I don't think it's gonna be that high, but it's gonna be a clean lab. You know, where the kids are gonna walk in, and it's gonna be, you know, enclosed in glass. We're gonna have all the microscopes and centrifugal, and they're gonna, it's, you know, plant and animal science. And, you know, we're at a hub of biotech, you know, Bucks County. You know, down outside of Doylestown, there's 25 startup companies, and they're building on to that existing building now. So we see a need here, and that's gonna bring in, you know, more students with excitement. My animal tech program is full, and it's been full forever. And I have 20 kids on the wait list to get into that animal tech program. So if I can combine that animal tech program with my landscaping program, we're gonna turn it bioscience, we're gonna do plant science and animal science, it's gonna be a win-win. You know, so they'll be able to cross-train each other. If that, hopefully I answered that.
I just want to thank you for all of your work on this,
Thank you.
and all 3 sending districts on working on this. Everybody was really happy with the outcome, and, you know, and the way that it's you know, that it's funding the tech school. So we all appreciate that, and I also want to thank you and Dr. Bolton and several of our board members went and met at the tech school earlier this year to try to come up with some plans on how we can help inform our students here and help, you know, raise awareness of the options that they have available at the tech school. And it sounds like it's working, and we're seeing a lot of interest, and that's great, because that's one of the things that we've heard is, you know, that was something that we needed to step up our game on, and so I'm really glad that we're doing that. So I appreciate everybody's efforts on that too.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Food trucks should be innovate program. We're gonna have a song.
I think we're gonna, I think all the other food trucks in the area are not gonna be happy with us, because our food is really top notch. Yeah, I think I'd be right about that.
I guess we'd be allowed to,
He's gonna get a spot down there.
I just want to make sure we have.
We're gonna exclusively,
You gotta look at free will, see if you can get on the spot
Yeah,
there.
except for, I don't know if they were.
he always has that.
Being out and It is a great location. I agree.
It's gonna be easier to follow along.
I didn't see that. Schedule them. Okay.
Have a great time. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Swin.
We're going to, move on to the high school scheduling presentation, Mr. Lasky. You're up.
You're on.
Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is David Lebowski, assistant principal at Penrose High School, class of 2020, the junior class. And I have the pleasure of presenting a lot of numbers this evening to you. So I provided a packet for each of you. That packet contains the following information: recommendations page, which is the cover page. I've also provided historical numbers for you to review. Also department sheets for each department, and then on the presentation screen we'll go through those sheets as well. And then one sheet that's a course request tally sheet. So with that said, I'd like to begin with the cover page and highlight the areas where we have some staffing needs, so I can explain each of those. So I'd like to start with science. So if you wouldn't mind paging through
Sorry, can we
science.
just park there for a second?
Yep.
All right, I just want people to make sure they digest what they're looking at in terms of where we are from a department standpoint. Any department that's not listed with anything other than blanks, right? If it's all blank, that means the staffing is staying at the same level as current year. Right, Mr. Bosky will show that. The columns then, the staffing need is the increased need at the high school level only. Mr. Lebowski will explain those in detail for each department. The next one then talks about how we would cover that, or are there other decreases that impact this? Because the ultimate column is the last one that is really what is the cost to the school district. And because there are changes elsewhere, it doesn't mean just because we're going up to the high school, that's an added cost. So for instance, the science, you'll see that we are covering that through using the sixth section. And just to remind you, the new contract prices that at $3,500. So you can see everywhere sixth section is indicated, it's there. Right? When you look down at, where's the decrease? Like in art, you can see that there's a 0.4 need at the high school level, but we know already that at the middle school level, we're able to increase by 0.2. So the overall cost is just 0.2 to the district in terms of, from a budget standpoint, in terms of FTE. In both of those cases where the two FTEs are, we currently have part-time employees. It would be almost impossible to find just a art teacher to teach one class. That'd be a very unique individual who would be willing to do that. And so in both of those cases, in both business and art, we have current part-time teachers, right? So they would not be six sections. They would be a suggested increase to a part-time teacher. They'd have to accept it, right? And so they could say no, and if they do, then we'd have to look to collapse and things like that. And that cost is anywhere from $10,000 to $14,000 for a 0.2 FTE, depending on where they are on the salary scale. Because it's an extra class for them, and so it does matter how much. But that is about $10,000 to $14,000 when you're looking at what that 1.2 FTE would cost. So those two together are about $25,000. So as you're thinking about adding up that last column, right? And then Mr. Lebowski's going to park in each of those departments, so if you have questions, he'll be very glad to answer them. But I just want to give you an overview of where we're heading in terms of cost and the added staffing. So thank you, Mr. Lebowski.
Thank you, Dr. Bolton. And so just so to give you an idea, we are next year going to be gaining 30 students. So
okay.
that's the difference between the incoming freshman class and the outgoing senior class. Gives you a rough idea. So let's start with science first. So science, if you wouldn't mind turning to the science, which is, I believe, page 5. In your
Now, we're
packet.
going to the very last pack. It has blue on the top. It is not stapled. So
I'd
the very
rather
last pack
read
now
like this.
unstapled.
Looks like this.
Thank you.
Yes.
For those
I'm
others.
holding it up. Yeah.
Such a teacher.
And then you are going to the page that says science, which is apparently page 5.
Yeah.
Lower left key.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I apologize for the page numbers. But it's the fifth one.
Right.
So on the bottom left of that page document are the department names.
Up here, science.
And then you're able to show it on the screen so that people are looking both ways. Yeah. Because they're all marked page 1. So look for the one that says science.
Thanks, I figured that out.
So I'm just gonna move over here, because I can't see. So, go to science. So in science, we have 22 teachers, approximately 108 teaching periods. I just want to point out a few items here. As you'll see here, on all the 4 core departments, there are courses here that are special ed courses listed. So if you go down to physical science 1A and to biology 1A, those are what we call part-time learning support. And it's noted down here that these courses are taught by special education teachers, and therefore they're not part of the science staffing. In addition, I want to bring your attention to the course on here called Anatomy and Physiology. Some of you might be saying, scratching your head, well, class size is 56.5. So basically what that is, that course right now, there's 3 sections in science and 3 sections in phys ed. It's a course that has a phys ed and a science credit given to it. So this year is 3 and 3. Next year it's 3 and 2. I wasn't able to split the students out because there's a spreadsheet formula here, but I just wanted to point out to you that there are 2 sections for the science teacher, and for health and phys ed there'll be 3 sections of anatomy and physiology for the phys ed teacher. So that's the reason why you'll see the 56.5 class size.
So there's 113 students divided across 5 sections, not 2 sections.
Correct. Also, to your right here, you'll see sections on the other sheets as well. Just identifying co-taught. We typically have co-taught sections in bio, 1 academic, earth and space. And so right now, AP Seminar is our new course. This is the very bottom. And AP Seminar, there are 65 students that asked for it, that requested it. And at this point, we're going to be running 3 sections of this new course at 21.7 per class. And right now, AP Seminar, we have to determine whether or not it's going to be taught by a science teacher or an English teacher. As Dr. Dormer had noted in her presentation, in the curriculum committee, that there's other teachers that can go, wide group of teachers that can teach it. And Dr. Dormer is here this evening, and obviously there are teachers that have expressed interest in doing so.
And I think we should take a second to celebrate that, right? This is a brand new AP course that we've brought to the district, and so students don't know, right? And it's not very common, so it's not like they're talking to their buddies in Souderton, right? It just is not a common AP course. And so to have 65 students who are saying, hey, here we go, and 33 others who are saying, okay, if I don't get something I want, I'm willing to consider that course, I think is a wonderfully healthy number. The concern about starting a new AP is always the students kind of wait to see how they do before they don't want to be the guinea pigs, they want to be the second round. And so often the first year number is low, and so that is a wonderful tribute to the conversation that the guidance counselors and the teachers had with the students, and as well as the content itself. So that's a really good number from that standpoint, so we should be really happy with that.
Are there any questions for science?
I have a question. Dr. Dormer,
Yes, sir.
this is the lowest number, I think, in all 28 years that I've been here for our AP Physics C. Reason?
I believe so. I believe you are correct about that. According to our AP Physics C teacher, he expected a drop. This is the first cohort of students who had the opportunity for AP Physics 1 as sophomores.
Right.
So, we weren't sure what the long-term implications or impacts of that would be, and now we're noticing as 12th graders are not necessarily following up by taking AP Physics C.
I don't think that's a surprise.
Right.
A disappointment, perhaps, but
Sure.
not a surprise. Okay,